Hi everybody, welcome back. Today is finally the day. We're going to set up this mini CFT right behind me. Look at this thing, this is a beast. I mean, it's more than my shoulder height high. This is going to be fun. Let's go. Before we get started, I just want to show you how this thing actually sits. So these are the cabinets. These counters that are underneath, and then this is our little mini CFT. Trays will go down here. I could probably have made it slightly shorter, but considering once the tubs go underneath, I want to be able to get, you know, my little thing underneath to be able to pull the castings out. So let's see. This is great actually. Check this out. So I can reach in here, that's not a problem. My elbows are high. But to be honest, the whole point of the CFT is not having to deal with putting your fingers or putting your hands into the bottom of these bins. So these are just, I have lined this with these little boxes. Is that PVC piping? These are just these are thin. So these are just 3-ply cardboard boxes that we use for our coffee company, Loose Unicorns, when we send out orders. There are a few small gaps in a few places, but I'm just going to go ahead and wet this down first, and I'm going to lay some tissue paper on top of this, just to cover the gaps from some packaging that I've got. I'm not sure if it's enough to fill this this space, but I am still awaiting Amazon deliveries, but I've just got some black tissue paper from another delivery, so I'm going to see if that fits down. But I'm going to go ahead and give this his first wet down with my trusty little spray bottle. Okay, I got some leakage from the sides. So I made up some cocoa coir a couple of days ago. So the microbiology should be getting into that now. So we're going to go ahead and dump just a couple of inches into here. I got my hands on some cocoa coir, and I've just put it into this bin with, so far, 8 litres of water, and it's still now 10 litres. Oops. Okay, so I literally have only used half a brick, and this 20-gallon bag is pretty much 2/3 full. So I was going to use peat moss as well in this, but I'm not going to now. What I'm going to do with this other half is I'm going to soak it, but not in water. I've got some worm tea that's been bubbling away on my left here, so I'm going to just hydrate this with worm tea, and then I'll mix it with this cocoa coir here and let it sit so it's ready for the CFT, and all that microbiology will be able to start breaking this down for when the worms go in. Okay, I have to kind of reevaluate what I'm going to do, because I've definitely got more bedding than bag. I think this is good. It's got worm castings in there, worm tea. I've given it a good mix. I will add some coffee grinds when I dump it into the bed. I'm sorry guys, but I need to put on the AC. I'm dying here, and I'm struggling to breathe as well. I can't explain how excited I am that I'm actually filling this finally. And if it wasn't for the sake of being sick, this would have been done, you know, over a week ago. Because I feel bad. Some of my worms have been, you know, holed up in tubs. I've moved them around, but I've been wanting to put them in here. And I've just started to bait my other big dump bag. Although I did the bait tray when I just made the bedding and they didn't go to it. I just checked and they're not in the bedding, but they're all under the tray. So we'll try and scoop up as much as we can, put them in here, and then continue to just add more and more worms over the course of the week as I try to bait them out. But this is the first time I'm using coco coir in my worm bins. I used to use a lot of coco coir in my gardens and on my farm, just because of its properties for holding moisture. I used to mix it with peat moss, and that was the original plan for this. So even though I know that they like it, they don't like it when it's fresh. I've just realized, I realized that this actually needs to sit and break down and get that microbiology in it for the worms to really enjoy it and like it. But regardless, this is actually, the moisture level in this is good. And we're going to dump our first set of worms into this. Now, before I do that though, I'm actually going to add a healthy amount of worm chow. So if you watched my last video, I made up quite a lot of chow. This is, if you haven't seen that, I'll just put the link up here, you can watch it. I'm going to add a really healthy feeding as a first feed and mix this up, because I really want them to get, that's about a pound of worm chow in 5 gallons of coco coir. So now it's time to add the first set of worms. So this was originally in our mother bin. These castings here could be harvested if we really wanted to, but I thought as this bedding is relatively fresh, I'll mix it with this, and I'll mix it with this to add all those microbes into the CFT. There's a lot of worms still in here. I'll get that cleaned up and dumped in a second. But check these guys out. Hey buddies, welcome to your new home. I also have to be resetting another breeder bin tonight, maybe tomorrow. So I'm going to start dumping all my breeder bins into here, which will be really good as well. But honestly, I'm going to give it a nice moisture. I am going to add some shredded cardboard on top of this, just because I want to add a nice carbon source to it, and obviously as I dump more stuff on top of the cardboard, it will get integrated and they'll eat it. Obviously I won't start messing around with mixing stuff up on this anymore, like having to mix the chow into the bedding. They've had a pound of chow that's in this now. That's quite a lot. I am super excited. Let's go ahead then and just dump some shredded cardboard on this. So I didn't squeeze too much of the water out of the cardboard because I want, as it's fresh, I really want a lot of moisture in this. And I'm going to add a little bit even more so, because don't forget we've got that thick, not thick, it's thin, but it's still 3-ply cardboard at the bottom. And the ultimate goal is for these worms to eat that, or for it to disintegrate, so that in 8 weeks or so, this bed will be, the CFT will be ready to start harvesting from the bottom. So I really want that moisture to start seeping through. I'm looking from the bottom at the moment, and the bottom layer of that cardboard is pretty dry. There is some leakage happening from the edges of these, which is understandable because the plastic only covers the wood, just to safeguard these plywood panels. But I do want, obviously I want that moisture to seep all the way through into that cardboard. So I'm actually going to give this a little bit more moisture even. That water from the cardboard, I'm going to sprinkle a decent amount along the middle. I'm going to try and stay away from the outside so it doesn't just go straight down, but I'll try and keep it in the middle, and then obviously once cardboard gets wet it will just spread. So let's do that now quickly. I don't know how much I'll need. And there's little bits of cardboard floating around in the water as well, so I'll try and get those. Okay, dumping that last bit of water might have been a bit of a mistake. It's literally all coming out the sides, but especially this side, I think because it's slightly leaning down towards here, nothing at the back, which is good. And luckily I've got the plastic sheeting on top of the cabinet, and I've just put some paper to try and soak it up, but the floor's soaked. Anywho, neither here nor there. Hindsight is a bugger, as they say. I've just got this bubble wrap that I've just cut. I am going to give this a nice little cover. Try and keep the moisture in. And there we are. I am ecstatic. Finally, the CFT is done. I'm going to go and celebrate. I can't smoke or drink, but I'm going to go and have a nice hot bath and go from there and just chill for a couple of hours. Thank you everybody for joining me on this journey and on this in this video. Please leave your comments down below. You know I always love those. Can't thank you guys enough for being such an active community on this channel. And please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'd love to see you here more often. You know what to do. Show your boys some love. And as always, be good, big love, and see you guys back here soon.